Hey guys, David here. Today we're going to go over the Masquerade tool, which is a method by which you can manipulate the costumes of characters in Legacy TE. Now, what's so exciting about this tool is you can determine how many sets of team colors a character might have. You can change which costume references which pack. You can change the number of costumes per character. You can do a lot of things with this tool. So I will show you a few scenarios in which you may want things changed, and then kind of show you how the tool works. Now there's a few things I want to point out. In version 0.8, which is the one that we'll be releasing first, there are 3 characters that are missing from this list, and that would be Ganondorf, Ice Climbers, and Wario. And it has to do with where their code exists in the TE code set. So in a later update, we'll be revising that to accommodate for those characters. But for now, they are absent. So that is one caveat. Another caveat is that each character kind of has its own quirks. And by that, I'll use the example of Mario's costumes. Default in Project M and Legacy TE, the first 5 slots are reserved for Mario, and the last 5 slots are reserved for Dr. Mario. So any costume replacement you do for the final 5 Mario costumes are going to have the Dr. Mario pills, the Dr. Mario sound effects, and other Dr. Mario specific properties. So knowledge of PSA is required to make these edits, which is outside of the scope of this Masquerade tool. I just wanted to call that out in case there was confusion over why does my, Mario recolor have Dr. Mario sounds? Or why does my Sonic have weird colored run trails or things like that? Something else I want to mention is that Legacy TE already mostly optimizes number of costumes. So with this tool, you won't be adding tons of costumes or anything like that, but you will have some level of control over team colors, which pack file corresponds to which slot, and how many, typically 10 or below, costumes a character might have. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's say that I want to give Samus a second set of team colors. So what I would do is I would check this little box right here to enable it. And then there are this ladder portion of costumes. Anything after costume 6 are all viable candidates for secondary team colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick, this one's going to be red, costume 9 is going to be blue, and costume 10 is going to be green. Now if you notice where it says T, that indicates that it's a team color, and those only appear on red, green, and blue colors. The other colors like light blue here and brown and purple don't really mean much in terms of what will come up for teams, so you can just pretty much ignore that and treat that as whatever you don't want to be a team color. Okay, so what I've done here is I've given Samus a second set of team colors. I'm also going to scroll down here and I'm going to give Kirby 9 costumes because I just don't want that 10th one for whatever reason. And I'm also going to do it where it's blue, red, and green. So that's that. And then down here, I've decided that 15 is too many for Rob for whatever reason. I only want 10. I can do that, and I'd obviously want to uncheck the third team colors because there wouldn't be a space for that. Another limitation currently is that you currently can't customize which of the third team colors are the slots for those, and that's just sort of a limitation for the current version. We wanted to get it out for you guys. All right, and so that's that. So let's recap the changes that I made to this code set so we can test them in game. I gave Samus a second set of team colors. I gave Kirby 9 costumes instead of 10, but also gave him a second set of team colors, albeit in a different order than I did for Samus. And then for Rob, I changed his number of costumes from 15 to 10 and removed his third team colors. So once I'm all finished, I'm going to click Generate Codes. And below here populates the modified version of the codes from TE. So what you want to do is you'll want to copy them and put them into your code set. And the easiest way to do that is identify kind of this title up here Anyone that's used the custom stage list tool will be somewhat familiar with this. Then you're going to want to go into your build. You're going to want to find the TXT code set in here. Here we'll do a Control F for Masquerade costumes. See what comes up. That's part 1. That's part 2. And it matches the title, so I'm going to replace it. That's that. Now on to the next code. See, this one's called Alt Color Engine Data. Place this. And then triple teams for Ganon, Tink, Rob, and Sonic. And you can kind of ignore the names because obviously whatever you do is gonna be respected regardless of the actual title of the code. All right. Let's make sure this is part 1 of the code. And it is. Okay, so now I'm going to save the code set. So what this is basically applied my changes. So next, what you'll want to do in the download itself, when you downloaded the Masquerade tool, is you're going to want to copy the TXT version of your code set, drag it over gctconvert.exe, and this is your new code set. And what I would do too, maybe, is make a backup of your existing code set, just to be safe. It's always good to have a backup around. And so here we go. Here's the new code set. So I have a virtual SD card here. I'm going to apply it and see if it respects the changes we made. And I'm going to adjust the volume because usually it's really loud. Okay, let's try it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to Samus and see if she has the second set of team colors that I assigned. Now I didn't change the costumes or anything like that, so it won't make a lot of sense. But let's just see what it does anyways. Okay, so we have normal teams for Samus, but then if you continue to press X, we have these new costumes as a second set, so it indeed worked. Now obviously, if you wanted to give her a second set of team colors, you probably had some costumes in mind. I didn't in this case, but obviously you would normally have that in mind. The other change I made was I gave Kirby 9 costumes and a second set of team colors. So the last Kirby costume should be missing. It should only be 9, and it is. It ends at the brown Kirby, which normally it goes all the way up until the cherry Kirby. So now I'm going to turn on teams, and as you can see, we have the typical from Brawl and PM 3 Kirby colors. Well, I shouldn't say from. That's not right. Okay, red, blue, and green. Here we go. These are the normal ones. Then if you keep pressing X, you'll see this purple, this gray, and this brown one also appear, which means he's getting a second set of team colors, which is just freaking awesome. And the last thing I want to demonstrate is the change to Rob, which again is 10 costumes instead of 15. So it shouldn't go all the way to the end to all the Rob recolors. And it doesn't. It goes from standard Rob to the Wii Kart, the Rob Kart, I should say. And it doesn't even go to Virtual Boy, which means the Virtual Boy and the Wii ones are not included. So everything works as expected. And in fact, you can see that there's only 2 sets of team colors for Rob instead of 3 that are normally in TE. So yeah, everything happened as expected. Now, well, let's say for instance that you kind of mess something up, because there are ways to kind of break the code. But I'm going to go ahead and try. So the first thing I'm going to try to break is I'm going to give Mario only yellow costumes because I'm like, you know what? Yellow is just a great color. What I'm doing here is basically I'm telling the code that Mario doesn't get any team colors at all. But I'm telling the game to give him a second set of team colors, but I'm changing all of his costumes to yellow. So what happens when I click generate code? Let's try it. Okay, warning. Mario, missing team color for first 6 costumes. Warning Mario, no team sent for second costumes. So for the first warning, every single character must at least have one set of team colors, period. And it's got to be in the first 6 costumes, no matter what. So that error will always come up if within the first set of costumes there aren't any red, blue, or green costumes specified. The second error was because in the second block here, I don't have any teams selected, but I checked this second team colors box. If I uncheck this box and then assign red, blue, green here, and then I try to generate the codes like this, it will not give me an error because the first set has the red, blue, green as required. It could really be any of these costumes. It doesn't even have to be these first 3. And the second set, I have not checked second team colors, so it's perfectly happy with this, and there's no problems. So yeah, that's a brief overview of this Masquerade tool. As always, if you have questions, you can head over to our Discord server and ask them there, and we will do our best to help you. Shout out to Dens and Johan for making this really awesome tool, and to DS22 for making the code originally, and to Popthekirby for helping playtest it. Thanks for watching.